Hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It I'm not gonna lie, it feels a little weird to be recording today. I
Yes,
suddenly lost, the fact that I needed a microphone for this and
correct.
headphones and
My whole day, well, first of all, my day's just been crazy in general. But then when I looked at my calendar and realized it's not Monday, it's actually Wednesday.
yes,
Yeah, it's been a weird one, but we're here for it. It's all good.
all the things. Yeah.
Yes.
So, surprise everyone. We're doing our first bonus episode, or as we're calling
Yay.
it, the Vault Sessions.
Yes.
We clearly weren't planning this episode, but sometimes
Not even a
something
little bit.
shifts. Nope. Sometimes stuff happens, and instead of waiting until next week or trying to squeeze into a segment or create a show around it, you just have to hit record and go with it. So
Do you know something kind of exciting besides the fact that this is our first, surprise bonus episode?
no, tell me.
This is technically our 10th episode, too.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
so
is kind of
kinda
exciting.
worked out fun, yeah.
Wish I had some champagne for that.
I
Maybe
do
I'll
too,
drink after.
except I have to go back to work after this, so,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Cheers.
um so yeah, should we do this?
Yeah, just dive right in.
Yeah, because i guess I guess I'm done waiting, so let's do this.
Yep.
Um, so this is going to be my story. I've had a lot of thinking that I've been doing recently. Last year was a very tough year for me. What I wouldn't say it was the toughest year. I've been through a lot, so you know,
Mhm.
couldn't say it was the toughest year. But I've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of reflection and stuff this year. And at the beginning of this year, I chose a song.
Would
Do
you
you
like
remember
to
what I
remind
chose?
us?
It's
Well,
oh,
um, I
it's
almost said
Opalite.
I almost said Monster Mash, and I'm like, "No, that was last year."
Well, that was last year,
Right.
and I
Um,
didn't choose that one. It was
yeah.
kind of chosen for me.
Also, you know what kind of feel I don't know if we talked about this before, but I kind of feel like you should do a mashup, which this would be a really weird mashup. So perhaps not, but Opalite and Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, because I feel like
But yeah.
you're about to have a moment. I feel
Well,
like in a good
hopefully.
way,
We'll
in a
see.
good
Yeah,
way. Yeah.
we'll see. I've I've had a few moments
Hmm.
recently, and that's what sparked this episode, wanting to do it. And I decided I wanted to kind of share the story
Hmm.
with everybody. Maybe it'll help somebody. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I chose Opalite,
Hmm.
not because it's just a great song. I mean, it is a great song. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. But I loved the meaning behind Opalite and how it's about creating your own happiness instead of, waiting for it to occur. It's really about, moving through the darkness and through the pain towards something brighter. There's a line, dancing through the lightning strikes in the onyx night.
Hmm.
And then it comes out into the opalite sky. So you come out towards the brightness. And I remember when, I heard her explanation behind why she wrote the song, that I remember thinking, yes, that's what I want. I want my song of the year to be that. What I'm going to focus on this year is creating my own happiness regardless of what else is going on this year. Because like we just said, last year my song choice did not work out for me. And so I really wanted to focus something that I could focus on, um, not controlling, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Just yeah.
Yeah. So after I chose it, I really kind of started thinking about, like, how do I do this? How do I create my own opalite? Um, what's my process going to be for this? And honestly, I kind of thought I was doing that. Like, I thought I was well on my way to creating it. I was taking control of my life. I started a professional blog. We started this podcast. I got some certifications in my downtime. I was spending my days, doing searches on LinkedIn. I was really trying to better myself, connecting with people on LinkedIn. But I just really kind of felt like I was spinning my wheels because I really wasn't getting anywhere or
Yeah.
seeing any progress from my efforts. Um, and so I found myself really asking me, like, what is aligned for me? Where do I fit? What should I begin?
Mhm.
What should I be doing with my life? And so I've, kind of been thinking about that. And, I talk to Marcy pretty
Mhm.
regularly. And for me, it's really about kind of knowing what the universe has in store for me or like how the universe is supporting me. Um, and I use it kind of directionally. Like if she tells me this is a time that I'm in the spotlight or whatever, then I use it to post stuff or reach out and not apologize for it, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Um, she actually had me tell this story last weekend, but it was about a year ago. Marcy told me that the universe was sending me a message and so that I needed to be watching for this. And honestly, I forgot all about it until there was this one day that I was walking through my favorite home goods store and literally this book fell off the shelf and it hit my foot. And the book was called A Pivot Year.
Hold on, I don't even know this story. Okay, keep
You don't know
going.
this story? I kind of
No.
thought maybe you were with me on it.
No, you if I was with it, because I do remember, we went to that one home goods store, like, in the West Bottoms or something like that? You good?
Uno momento, por favor.
Bloopers.
Okay, try that again.
Okay,
Because I was coughing on the end of yours.
it's fine. I do remember we went to that home goods store you took me to show me in the
Yep.
West Bottoms. Is that
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
Wow,
Charmed
shocking, I
house.
remember. And I remember we saw that book, and I feel like you told me it was good, but I don't remember it, like, jumping, which it very well could have, and you just didn't really say anything about it. Um, but yeah. Okay, keep going. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So she had told me the universe is trying to send you a message, be on the lookout for it.
Okay.
So the pivot year falls on my foot. I decided this is the universe's message for me. So I bought the book. And it sits down in our den
Wait, you did
over
buy
on
the
my
book.
side table. Yeah.
Okay,
This is
keep
like
going. Oh, this
clearly
is
I meant to buy this book.
yeah.
And it's a good book. It's made up of like daily prompts. You get one page each day of an entry that's supposed to make you kind of think about transitions and growth and changes and things like that. Pivoting. And I read it for a while,
Mhm.
not every day, but consistently, and I would catch up, in between days. Um, and then eventually I just kind of set it down because I started focusing all of my attention on trying to find the right job for me. And I kind of felt that I had been starting my morning slowly with coffee and breakfast while I read this book and kind of caught up on things. And I decided to kind of put that to the side. Um, and I really switched my focus to just finding this right job for me. I was manifesting about it, manifesting the right opportunity, manifesting that it would be aligned, that
So
it
can
was,
I were you
yeah,
manifesting, like, a specific job or something similar to what you've done in the past, or just in general, you were like, "I want what's right for me?"
I switched. So initially, I was trying to manifest a very specific job. I was trying to put everything in there that I wanted,
Mhm.
that I thought was my dream opportunity. And, recently I did change it to I want what's right for me. I want something that's aligned, that's meant for me. And I want to recognize that. I
Yeah.
really kind of got focused on looking for, is this the sign that it's right for me? That sort of thing. And I kind of told myself that was, me taking control of my life. I was manifesting, I was writing a blog, I was connecting socially, I was, searching for opportunities. I was doing everything that I could possibly do to find this opportunity that I thought was meant for me. So, fast forward a couple of weeks ago, it was after we'd had Marcy on, and we'd talked about some of the things that were happening astrologically, that there was eclipse season coming up and retrogrades that were coming up. And I knew there was a new moon also coming up. So I went on to ChatGPT, which I now affectionately call Chatty G, thanks to you.
You're welcome.
I asked what I thought was a very simple question. Should I manifest today since it's a new moon, but there's also a lunar eclipse?
Mhm.
And I was expecting a very quick answer. Instead, it turned out to what might have been the greatest counseling session of my entire life. Uh,
I find
because
that
after
so interesting too, because, like, why would you not just text Marcy real quick? Like, the fact that you randomly popped that question into ChatGPT just feels like,
I know, I
you know what
know
I'm
she
saying?
has, yeah, I know she has a lot going on right now, and she, at
Yeah,
that time, there were several things that were happening in her life, and so I didn't wanna bother her, and so I was like, "Oh, maybe Chatty G will know the
yeah.
answer to this." Uh, it it didn't tell me no, it just said this was, a better time to set goals. There was a little bit of, back and forth that happened between me and G, and, I was kind of typing in my responses and stuff, and what I realized I had been doing wasn't really manifesting. Um, I was wishing. I was kind of creating my wish list.
What made you realize that? Because, like, what's the difference?
Well, according to Chatty G, there's a big difference. And
Okay,
Chatty G says that manifesting is almost like setting goals that you're working towards. And what
okay,
I was doing was being so specific on things, about things that had been happening to me, about things that I wanted to change, that it really was becoming more of a wish, in my
okay.
opinion.
That makes sense.
Um, and so it kind of gave me some ideas on how I could restructure thoughts. But then I kind of started to look at everything that I had been doing, and I realized I wasn't spending my days smartly. I was spending my days really obsessing over job posts
Mhm.
and networking and tweaking my resumes. I can't tell you how many versions of my resume that I've had in the last year that say pretty much the same thing, but a slightly different word.
Yeah.
I was optimizing my LinkedIn profiles. I was focused on making connections. So I'd see a job that was posted that I was interested in, and I would go out and try to connect with every person that could possibly interview or reach out or have anything to do with that particular job. I was
Mhm.
creeping on people big time.
It's okay. Sometimes you have to.
Yeah. And I was telling myself that this was me taking control of my career and my future and my destiny. But what I realized I was doing was giving away the control of my happiness
Mhm.
to an outcome. And it was an outcome that I really don't have any control over. I don't have any control over who selects me for a particular position to interview. I don't have any control over who gives me a job offer. And so every rejection was sort of soul crushing for me. Uh, And it made me think the answer was really that I just need to do more of this. And so then I began doing more networking, more applications, more tweaking. And then I realized that I was spending my entire days searching instead of taking my daily walks. We had some really nice weather, and I would say, "Oh, I'm gonna apply to this one job." And then I would start to try and find everybody that was associated with that job to connect to and write the perfect LinkedIn message to. And I promised myself, you know, once I found this job, I would get back into a more regular schedule. I would work out, I would take my walks, I would do the meal prep, I would do all of the things. And so I realized that I had essentially paused every other aspect of my life.
Mhm.
And quite frankly, it was ruining my psyche.
Yeah.
Um, but I kept telling myself, once this happens, then I'll live, then
Mhm.
I'll do the things. And when I stepped back and really started looking at things, I realized this is a pattern for me. This is not something new that I was doing. It's something that I've done my whole life, kind of in response to trauma, I guess. When I struggled with infertility for years, the doctor's visits and the blood draws and the injections and the IUI and the IVF, I thought, well, when I have a baby, then I will start living. Um, when my autoimmune symptoms started kicking in, I was in and out of hospitals. I thought, when I get a diagnosis and I'm on the right medication, then I'll do the things. Um, when I was even working, I was always working towards a promotion. And I thought when I get this title, when I finally get the recognition I deserve, then I'll feel successful. And recently it became, when I find the right job, then I'll walk outside again and I'll have a routine again. And maybe I'll finish reading The Pivot Year,
Mm. Yeah.
which I quit. But I realized that I've kind of structured my whole life quietly around the word when.
Mhm.
And I kind of realized that I've been using a future success as that permission slip for my present peace. I'm okay with this because when I get there, then I'll be happy again. And so every setback has made me pause everything else in my life and give it another win that I kind of assigned to it.
Yeah.
So then a few days after that realization came, which was, a pretty big realization, um, I was on a plane headed towards the wedding and my brain was just swimming with how do I break this cycle? How do I break this habit? How do I move forward? Because I don't like feeling that I am pausing everything that I've been doing in life besides this one thing. Um, and so I decided to watch a movie instead of reading, just because I couldn't shut my brain down. And the movie was called Big Bold Beautiful Journey. Have you ever watched it?
Never even heard of it.
I had not either. And honestly, the reason I chose it was because it was about two people that meet at a wedding. And I was going to a wedding and I thought, cool,
Right.
you know,
Why not?
I thought it sounded like a rom com.
Mhm.
Spoiler alert, it is not really a rom com. I will say it's a very, very different movie. In fact, I almost turned it off because I thought, what in the world is this movie here? But it has Margot Robbie, and it has some pretty big names. Um, I can't remember the other guy's name. Colin, um, the Irish guy. Uh, I'll think of it in a minute. So, anywho, I kept watching because I was on a plane for several hours. So, what else was I gonna do?
Right.
But there's a scene at a lighthouse, where the character he says that you're supposed to go up, you're supposed to go to the top, and you're supposed to look out over the ocean and look down, and then suddenly you're going to have this epiphany about who you are and where your life is going.
Okay.
And I thought, that's kind of what I've been waiting for. is
Mhm.
this epiphany, this clarity, a sign about what it is, I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to go. And the part of the movie that hit me even harder is because this entire story is about doors. It's about magical doors that let these characters kind of revisit their past, which was very ironic for me. Um, because when I graduated high school in 1997 from Raytown South High, go Cardinals, um, I gave the baccalaureate speech. And I'm sure everyone that was there remembers it vividly because it was pretty riveting. I mean, don't remember it exactly. In fact, I tried to find it, but it was written before the cloud existed. So
Mhm.
it's probably sitting on a hard drive in a landfill somewhere.
So
So I don't remember it exactly. But I do remember what it was about.
Mhm.
And it was about doors.
That's crazy.
Yes. And I talked about how doors of opportunity would open and close throughout our lives. And it was our job to decide which ones we walked through.
Yeah.
And then it kind of hit me. The universe is sending me a message.
Mhm.
Somewhere along the way, I kind of stopped choosing the doors that I'm going through
Yeah.
and started waiting for somebody to tell me which ones I needed to open and um, which ones would be there for me.
Mhm.
Waiting for the universe to tell me which ones to walk through and what to do. And so I really had to ask myself, another question. Like, why do I think the only doors that count are the big ones, these big moments, the perfect job, the diagnosis, the promotion, the massive life change? And I realized it's because those are the moments in our lives, those are the doors that we celebrate. And that's where the applause comes from.
Mhm.
When you have these big moments, everyone kind of celebrates you at those points. But we don't celebrate somebody who decides to make a career change or a life change or something like that.
Right.
Um, but it was a moment where I realized that I needed to change
Mhm.
and I needed to stop kind of waiting for these big moments and start building my life no matter how small the moment really was for that. And so I got off the plane and I told Casey, I was so excited about this epiphany. I told him all about it. And he was like, "That's great, but how are you going to do this? Like, what
Mhm.
do you do with this now? What's going to change for you?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, but I just had this epiphany. It was
Right?
like I gave this high school speech. I just saw this movie, like the universe, I have a message now."
Yeah.
But I started thinking, okay, how do I do this? Um, and we've talked about this before. I've tried big changes. I've tried
Mhm.
major diets, total life resets, and I've had some success with them before, at least for a while. But then, eventually I'm human and I slip or life happens and suddenly it feels like failure. And I don't like the feeling um, that I failed. And that's why things like 75 hard are a hard no for me. I just don't like feeling that there's no flexibility in that. If you don't do this one thing, then you failed at the entire thing.
Mhm.
And not because they don't work. For some people, they do. And some people have a lot of success with them. But what I realized that's important for myself and is important to me, um, I don't need the intensity of a life change like that. I just need some consistency. And one of the things that I've always really liked is this Japanese business concept called Kaizen.
Mhm.
And in fact, I used to, uh, I used to have it written on a post-it. Yep, I'll just say this is going to really suck if I don't
My
have it.
god. Okay.
But I used to carry it around um, This was my notebook that I carried everywhere when I went into meetings and stuff because, like we talked about, I'm old school. I have to write out my notes. And so I had Kaizen there to kind of remind me. Um, and the concept is pretty simple. It is just small, steady changes over time.
Mhm.
Kaizen literally means continuous improvement and iteration. So the Kaizen concept in business is that you're consistently looking to make small changes and improvements to a product, a project, whatever it may be, a process. Um, and so I used to carry it around in my workbook so that I would remind myself, like, are we doing this the best way that we could? Is there something that we could improve upon, no matter how big or small?
Mhm.
The only thing that you have to keep doing in Kaizen is a forward motion. And then I started thinking back to another idea that I've shared on here before, which is the story that Casey's told about his third grade teacher, Mrs. Gillis. She gave her students a button that said ICMM, I can manage myself. And if they still had it on at the end of the week, they got a treat.
Mhm.
That was it. That was the whole thing, manage yourself. And after Casey first told me that story, we kind of used it as a comeback. Like if one of us was trying to tell the other how to do something or when to do something,
Mhm.
we'd say, hey, ICMM, I don't need you to do that for me. Um, but I really started thinking about it again. Um, you know, managing yourself today is really kind of all that it was. And as adults, we think managing ourselves means we have to manage everything. We have to manage the outcomes, the timelines, other people, our families, other people's responses. But Mrs. Gillis didn't ask those kids to manage the classroom. She asked them to manage themselves.
Mhm.
And so when I really started looking at that, I realized that somehow we forgot, in adulthood that that's actually the only thing we truly can control in our lives. I can't control the outcomes. I can't control other people. I can't control when I get a job. I can't control my health. I can't control the doors that close and the ones that are opening for me, but I can manage myself today. I can live, a healthy life to try and make those health comes better for me.
Mhm.
I can, apply to jobs, but not obsessively, and try to find the right opportunities and keep those eyes open. So that's when something really kind of, clicked for me that maybe the problem wasn't that the right door hadn't opened for me yet or I hadn't found it. It was really that I was standing still in my life and really waiting for those big ones to find me and to be that moment before I could do everything else.
Yeah.
And so when I kind of looked at everything, I looked at Kaizen, I looked at the moment of the doors, and realizing, motion matters, moving matters. And then most importantly, Mrs. Gillis's lesson from third grade, ICMM, I can manage myself, not the universe, not the outcomes, not the timing, just myself and today. And so once I was kind of looking at it from that path forward, it felt surprisingly simple for me. So that's what I am going to do. I am starting ICMM one thing a day. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. It's just I'm choosing one thing every day that I'm going to do to manage myself and move my life forward instead of sitting around and waiting. And some days that's doing something. That's, doing a workout, taking a walk, eating a healthy meal. And other days it's going to be not doing something. Maybe is not checking my email for my sanity. It's maybe limiting my time that I'm scrolling or applying to jobs or looking for them. Maybe it's prioritizing sleep sometimes and not going to the gym, just small things. But those small things, I think, are the most important in our lives that we remember and not forget, and how our lives actually will move forward. Um, so I'm going to stop skipping my walks in lieu of applying for a job.
Mhm.
Um, so, that one thing's going to be different every day. But that's the only rule. One thing every day, hold yourself accountable. I can manage myself. Maybe at the end of the week, if I still have my pen on, my imaginary pen for now, I'll have a treat.
Yeah.
But you're invited to do this with me.
I say, so
Anyone?
what lay it out for me. How are you gonna, like, plan these things out when you plan your week out? Are you gonna do it, like, the night before? Is it gonna be like, I wake up and see how I feel, what my body needs, what's going on, and choose it day by day? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going to choose mine day by day. And I think I have to do that for myself.
Mhm,
And that's the thing here is that it's flexible. So it's flexible for every person, what they need it to be. So you do you.
mhm,
I'm going to post mine on social media to hold myself accountable
mhm.
for, taking that step every day. But I know you've said you like journaling. So, maybe you journal, maybe you have an accountability partner. Um,
You're
Maybe
looking at
when
her.
you, when you wake up every morning, you just think, what am I doing today that is going to move myself forward? And it has to be something that you can control,
Yeah.
you know?
Do you know what's so crazy about this?
What? Did you have a dream about it?
No, close. It was real life. So I have been in a rut, you know this, for a
Yes.
moment or a lot. And I see people on social media doing I don't know that they call them challenges, but like they're using Chat GPT to better their lives in different ways. So like there's a bunch of these different prompts and they type in, this is my dream life, this is what I want out of life, whatever. As you said, it comes back with a bunch of questions, like, really breaks everything down and gets into it, and then they have it plan their day to day, and they vlog, basically, and do all these things, and it's working for so many people, and I was like, "I wanna do something to like, 1% better every day," is, like, the thing, right? So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, "Maybe I should try this." So I started doing it on ChattyG, our girl, um, and the things it was giving me were very small things. And this is where my mind is so fucked up because it was very small things that would in fact make a difference over time, kinda like you're saying. And I'm like,
Mhm.
"But that's too simple. It's too simple. Like, what is that gonna do?" You know what I mean?
But
So
is it?
it's no. Well, yes and no. Yes. I don't know.
I mean, like
It's
when I
but, like
realized that I was not doing those simple things
yeah.
because I was waiting on this big thing.
Well, and it's the world that we live in, kind of what you touched on even. Like we are just in a place where we have the technology we have, everyone can get a hold of you so easily. Things are made easier for us now than they were back in the day. Things are in some ways easier, of course also somewhat harder, whatever. But like my mindset of that's too easy, like whatever. That's where I feel like we're at in the world is like you can do these simple little things to bring you joy, to help you get to where you want. It doesn't have to be a hard, crazy, intense thing you go through, but the world we live in, it's just like, that's too easy. That can't be it. That's too easy.
Yeah. And that's what, when I was kind of explaining this concept to Casey, he said, "Well, but what if somebody decides to skip the gym?" And I said, "If that's what they need that day, like there
Yeah.
are some days where I sleep so terrible
Mhm.
that to get up at 5:15 a.m. to get ready to go to the gym is exhausting."
Me this morning. I mean, I don't wake up at 5:15 to go to the gym, but I did last night. I was up late working until like 2. And I had my alarm set for 6:55, and that was giving me an extra hour of sleep already. So then when I woke up, I was like, not my body needs more. Like,
Yeah.
you need more. And I was like, I could push through and start my day right now, but I'm not gonna be productive. I'm gonna be in a terrible mood. Like, it's all the negatives that come with that. If I give myself 1 more hour, is that really gonna fuck up my whole day? No, thankfully, I didn't have meetings this morning, so I could do it,
Right.
and I have a flexible job, so, like, I will make up that time later. But, yeah, sometimes you have to choose, like, honor what your body needs. If it needs rest,
And
you
that's
know?
like me on, on Tuesday morning. I was exhausted. I slept so terribly for several nights in a row, and I was just at my wits' end. I think my Aura ring said had like a 7 hour and 10 minute sleep deficit. I was
Yeah,
exhausted, and so I
that's like a
canceled
whole
my
night.
gym. Yeah, right. I canceled my gym and slept in. And when I woke up naturally, I went downstairs into my home gym, which it's nothing fancy. We just have some free weights and
Mhm.
some bands and stuff. But I did my own kind of workout that I found through Pinterest. I pinned some random workouts. So I did a few of those. It wasn't anything long. I think I did 20 minutes. It was enough to get me started and get me moving. And so I think that's the biggest thing for me that I'm going to need to pay attention to is to make sure that I am not hitting pause on other parts of my life to sacrifice for something that I think might be bigger at that time or a
Right.
bigger opportunity.
And I think keeping the mindset of, like, how important flexibility is too. Like you said, did you go to your full class at the gym? No. But did you still do something to move your body? Yes. So it's like
Yes.
there's some days with my crazy schedule, I love to do a 45-minute walk outside, but some days it's 20, some days it's not, and I have to just kinda I'll do, like, little things here and there between running all over the place. You do the best you can, and, like, you have to be okay with that and know, like, you're still making the
Yeah.
effort. It's not like you're sitting on the couch being like, "Oh, fuck that. I don't feel like it," and just doing nothing.
Yeah. Correct. And that's the biggest thing is me a couple weeks ago
Mhm.
would have skipped the gym, also not gone downstairs and done the workout because I had spent 2 days, 2 weekdays with friends, not looking for jobs.
Yeah.
And I would have come directly upstairs to my office and sat down and looked for jobs and caught up on emails and done other things. So for me, my one thing is probably going to be limiting the time that I spend looking for jobs
Yeah.
and where I look for them. And I'm probably going to turn off some of my email notifications um, because I'm one of those people that can't see emails in my inbox or
Yeah.
I get weirded out.
So are you doing this for a certain amount of time? Do you have a specific goal that you want as your outcome? What is all that?
For me, this is gonna become my life,
Okay.
you know? I'm gonna at least try it for a year.
Mhm.
ICMM, no pause days, just every day, something little because it can be something so little.
Mhm.
Maybe I make sure that I drink a glass of water, before I go out on the weekends or something like that, because it's flexible and because it can be so simple.
Mhm.
Mine's gonna be a daily thing.
'Kay.
But, some people can try it for 30 days or just just do something. I mean, in fact, c if you're sitting and you're listening to this podcast and you're in your car, like, pick something. Just
Mhm.
start it now. Don't wait till Monday. I'm gonna
And
wait till Monday to start
don't get
putting it on my
overwhelmed.
social media.
Yeah. Don't get overwhelmed too, because I feel like that's the other thing is it's easy, especially if you are doing simpler, smaller tasks, it's easier to start like bundling them up or doing more and more and more. And then you overwhelm yourself and you're like, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. So
Yeah,
don't
this isn't meant
overthink
to
it.
be complex.
Yeah.
This is meant to have you ask yourself at least once a day, whatever time works the best for you. I do a lot of my thinking and stuff at night, so that's probably when I will start thinking about what am I gonna do tomorrow for my one thing for my ICMM.
Mhm.
But what is it for you? Where have you paused your life? Where do you need help kind of getting unstuck? And um, what is that for you? Everybody needs to decide what that is for them and what they're going to do to get there.
I like it.
Maybe it's take a walk. Maybe it's texting a friend that you haven't talked to for a while. Maybe it's closing the laptop and shutting things down for a little bit and being present with your family. Whatever that one thing is, you got to do it
I like it.
and be consistent. Mic drop.
Mic drop. Episode's done. Goodbye. No. Okay, so you'll give updates and share. Are you going to share stuff daily on your social media or what?
Yes.
Okay. So
And I may
every
not be
single day.
perfect. There may be a couple of days together.
Yeah,
Um,
it's okay.
but yes, every single day
Okay.
you'll hear from me.
And then we'll share updates here and there on the pod too, of course.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
So
I like it.
ICMM.
Yes, ma'am, you got it. I'm gonna get you a button.
I'm gonna need one, I think.
Yeah,
I should ask Casey what they looked like.
right? I'll get you one, don't you worry.
So
Okay, cool. So if
that's it.
anyone wants to join,
Yeah, it's just start.
do
Just
it.
do it. It doesn't have to be big.
Yeah,
It has to be intentional and it has to be consistent.
yeah,
One thing every day. ICMM.
I like it.
Let's do it.
You want me to do it with you?
I already invited you.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Got it.
So that's it.
Okay,
That's all I had for this episode.
I like it. I need to consider what I want to do, I guess, and get started.
Doesn't have to take long to decide.
It doesn't,
You could do
but
it right now.
I could, but I'm hungry, so I need to go eat. Maybe that's my thing. Instead of skipping a meal, I'm gonna actually go eat something before I go back to work.
You plan it in your day. I think you should do it.
Look at that. Okay,
There's your one thing. See, it's not hard.
it's not.
My one thing today was, even though I was tired, I got up and met my workout accountability buddy. I got up at 5:15 and went to the 6 o'clock bar class. So
Yeah,
that was my one thing today.
good job.
I didn't skip it.
Oh, okay. You know what else I just thought of for accountability? That's really easy. We can, if anybody is on Threads, we can
Yeah,
just post a daily update there of what our item was for the day, and then if anyone is joining in, they can comment theirs too. Or if you
yeah.
need ideas, then there you go. Okay, cool. Because that's easy. That's just words. It doesn't have a visual. You don't have to make it pretty or anything. So
Nope.
easy enough.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
works.
I like it.
So that, okay. I see him. Mic drop. Ta ta for now.
Ciao tutti. Wait, are we actually done?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Do you
All
have
right.
more to say on it?
I don't know. My wheels are turning. I just have, you know how my brain works. I just have like ideas going through, and I want to now, because I'm in my journaling phase, whatever. I just want to go like write some stuff down. I want to, yeah. My wheels are just turning. So that's all. Yeah. Okay. Here's
Pressing stop.
to manage. I can manage myself. Here's to managing ourselves. I had to think it through for a second.
I can. I can
I
manage myself.
I can definitely try. Maybe that's what my button will say. I can try.
I tried.
Right. That's enough. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing your story. Love you so much.
Love you.
And ciao tutti.
Ta ta for now. I was like, wait, what do I say?
Okay, bye.